So a lot of you guys may have noticed that not only is the Secular Talk channel actually stagnating, stagnating would be like, growth slowing or remaining the same. It had kind of been that way, but now he's actually continuing to lose subscribers. And before I jump into this video, I'm going to explain why I believe that this is happening and just talk about it generally speaking. I know a lot of you guys are super interested in this topic. A lot of you guys are big Secular Talk fans or former Secular Talk fans. I'm still a Kyle fan. Really quickly before I continue, I want to let you know I am on Instagram. My ad is Progressive Voice. I wanted to plug it really quick. Go to the link down below or go to the search bar in Instagram, Progressive Voice. Go follow me over there. I think that he has some, issues on his channel, but overall, I still think he has a good channel. So this is not a hate video of any kind or any kind like that. I don't make any Kyle hate videos. Any video I make about Kyle criticizing him is always in like constructive sense and always with the backdrop of, I respect him and I like his channels. Still one of the best channels, right? Arguably the best you could say, but probably someone like David Dole probably edges him out based on how quickly he uploads videos. So that I wanted to get that out of the way first. But as you can see, people on his subreddit for like the past year have been talking about his stagnation on his channel. So this is a meme that just got posted 6 days ago. This says Kyle drops to 970,000 subscribers. The Eric Andre and Hannibal meme. It's a very common meme. It says low effort reporting / research, repetitive talking points using mostly Twitter sources. And then, that's Kyle, killing his channel. And these are the real things that killed it. But then him saying, why would the algorithm do this? So as you guys know, Kyle has continued to say that his channel is really being destroyed by the algorithm, right? Like the algorithm is the system in which content is filtered and shown to people. So like what's in your home recommended feed or what's in the suggested feed of the next video, whatever is in the suggested video of this video you're watching, that's something that the algorithm gets to decide based on whatever its metrics are, whatever its priorities are, whether it be, it's associated to this channel or that video just has really good impression to view ratio in this first hour or whatever. So the algorithm really does determine who sees what. It really does. That's the system that determines who sees what. So it is true that the algorithm is actually impacting, especially progressive news media, because the algorithm prioritizes traditional news media sources like CNN, MSNBC, etc. That's absolutely factual. But there are a lot of things that Kyle is doing to his own channel to lower its progress and its growth. So this is fairly accurate, but it's also not 100% accurate because, again, like the algorithm is definitely impacting independent news channels. And so, what we can, what we can see here from this, we can see his Social Blade numbers here. It says minus 1K subscribers. It's 50% subscribers for the last 30 days. I think last month he actually lost 2,000 subscribers, so he's actually improving, but he's actively losing subscribers. Now, what does that mean? How do we interpret this data? I'll explain it to you. You may not know this. Every channel is losing subscribers every day, especially when you upload videos, because every single day there's a human being that sees your channel on their feed and says, you know what, I subscribed for whatever reason. I saw this video or I saw these videos, I like them, but I'm just not interested anymore. Totally natural, totally understandable. That's happening on a daily basis. And for a channel like Secular Talk, it's happening en masse because he has a 970,000 subscriber channel. So that's to be expected. Now, what's supposed to be happening is there's supposed to be at least an equal number of new people coming to your channel to subscribe to make it so your channel is having a net gain. That's how you have net growth. So this means that he's just not getting enough new people subscribing to his channel to be able to be in a net growth in subscriber numbers. So that's what that means. The algorithm definitely impacts that. And his view count is below 7 million for the last 30 days, which is down 3%. And that is a pretty low view number for 30 days. Usually, like I would say a good number for him would be at least above 8 million, but like a solid month, I would say is around like 10 million. So he's definitely on the low side for sure on the view numbers, no doubt. I think like I saw David Dole, the Rational National, I think it's like 4 million or something like that. I should have pulled up his numbers too, but his numbers, his subscribers have increased 11,000 in the last 30 days. But as you guys know with David, he only posts like one video a day, maybe two at max, but it's always like whatever is a big story that day, he's uploading it quickly which is, how news is supposed to be. And that's going to lead to a point that I'm going to bring up. So his channel is not only, it used to be just stagnating, right? Now it's literally receding. Okay, it's negative in growth rate. It's literally getting smaller, right? His channel's in a recession. Okay, that's what we're gonna say. We're gonna use an economical term. Shout out macro. Anyways, so what I've actually done here is I've actually made a little, I don't even know what to call this. I don't know what to call this, but this is just like a little thing that I created that gives the different reasons as to why his channel is actually receding. Now, the thing about this is not like, it's not a chart really, because that would imply there's some kind of connection between them. But really the only thing I can tell you as a guide for this chart is, or whatever you want to call this, is that the font size, generally speaking, indicates how big of a deal these different issues are. But there's no connection between the two. It's not like one of those evolution charts. You ever seen the actual, like, real evolution charts? Not that dumb one where it's like monkey to this, to this, to this, like a straight line, and then it's human. That's not how evolutionary charts are. It's like, oh, this is human. It goes here, and then it's like a whatever here, and then there's something down here, and they've spread off into something else. It's not a connection chart. These are all separate things, but this is just the way I made it, but it was wrong. Anyway, so why is Kyle Kulinski receding? Now, the actual number one reason, this is the biggest by far reason, because there's a lot of reasons people give here. Oh, I would say most of you guys would say this. And actually, before I get into this, I want you to comment down below. I should have said this earlier. What do you think is the biggest number one reason that his channel is receding? Okay, the one singular reason, the biggest one you think is the reason why his channel is receding, comment that down below. I'm curious. But a lot of people will say these smaller ones that are included here, but the smaller ones are not the driving force as to why his channel is literally receding. The number one biggest thing is that he's late on his news videos. So I think he does a show like 2 or 3 times a week, and so that means that when he uploads videos, oftentimes his videos are on news stories that are 3-4 days late. Sometimes it feels like they're as long as a week late. Now, at that point, I don't even believe you can categorize it as news anymore. It's not news, it's just analysis. I would not call that news anymore. It's like news analysis is, you talking about a story relatively quickly, at least within 24 hours, maybe 36. I would say 36 is the absolute cutoff. But ideally, you want to be 12 to 24 hours is the good. Anything between 24 hours could be 1 minute between 24 hours. But I would say 36 hours is the absolute cutoff for it to be called news. But, a news analysis video is supposed to be both news and analysis. His is more just analysis because it's too late to call it news. So you can look at a channel like The Rational National. He's posting videos that same day of that story. And so that's actually news. And this actually plays into an interesting thing about Kyle. I don't know if you've guys seen that old video where he called Crystal Ball like a dumbass or something like that when she was back on MSNBC because I don't remember what the story was. You guys can remind me in the comments. But it was some story, and what she said was completely stupid. It was false information. And he attributed that false information to a fiending for being the first to break the news. And so in that video, he made really clear how much he despised the fact that mainstream media news is all about just breaking the story as soon as possible. And so I think that disdain that he has for that desire to be as quick as possible to the news, right? That's news, trying to break his story as quickly as possible. So he's more in the analysis realm. And I think that's indicative of and tells you why, he doesn't like these being very quick to the news stories. He doesn't really care about it. He's definitely not prioritizing it. That's going to screw over your channel, man, because by the time he's made a video on it, it's not news anymore, it's analysis. So people who are looking for like 3 day later's analysis, and it's not even really 3 day later because he recorded the video most likely around the time that the news story happened. Maybe some of them not. And so he's still running off of like 1 day information. Day one information, but he's uploading like 3 days later. So even though there's more information, you could do more of like a long-term analysis. It's not even running off that info. It's just, scheduled videos that he's uploading later. So it's more of an analysis video. By the time people get to that, they've already seen a bunch of stuff about the news story. They don't really need what you're doing anymore. And so all these different channels offer you different stuff. Some of them news, some of them analysis, etc. Some of them both. And he just hates the news aspect of it. And that's the biggest thing. And I'll give you some evidence here. Like, I'll give you some evidence here. So what we can see here when we pull up his actual channel page right here, you can see that most of his videos are in like the 30s or 40s. And so you can just see by the numbers here, most of them are 30s or 40s. But there's really one specific video here that's like an outlier, a statistical outlier. You can see that basically all these videos are in the hundreds, some of them as low as the 20s or 30s. And in like the past 5 days, right, there's one video that did really well, and that's this video right here. It's titled "Breaking Cops Did Nothing for an Hour as Texas during the Texas situation." And they literally stood outside and they did nothing for 45 minutes. It was really absolutely horrible. And so this was a story that he dropped. I don't know exactly how in relation to when it dropped, how quick it was, but it's a breaking title, and he literally did it without a camera. It's literally just a screen cap of he's just recording the article and he's not doing a face cam. So that has 117,000 views. So statistically, when you look at these videos, it's easy to break down, right? That's the outlier. You got 38, 44, 48, 70, 50, 41, 44, 60, 117. That's like almost double like his mean video view average, his mean video views in the past like 5 days. So as you can see that also when you saw like when he did some breaking stories when the Russia war situation had first broke out, those videos had garnered like over 200,000. So honestly, one of the takeaways here can really be like it's impressive how well his videos are able to perform. It's impressive that he's able to get 35 or 40,000 views on a video on a story that happened like 3 days ago. That's pretty damn impressive. That's an accomplishment in and of itself, because that means that people really want to watch you and your analysis. Honestly, that's kind of a compliment, low key, the fact that he's able to do that. People really want to see his analysis on stuff. But imagine how big he would be if he were to break these stories. Also, keep in mind, those breaking stories are likely to put you in the algorithm. That video is more likely to get in the algorithm. The main way that the algorithm works now is really stupid. That's why you see hooks in the beginning of every video. Is because those like first 30 seconds and how well your video performs in like the first hour, it depends on, and that is going to determine how much is pushed in the algorithm. Let's say you put up a video where it has really good watch time ratio for the video, especially the beginning of the video, and it does really well in its first hour. That good performance is going to bolster it in the algorithm, specifically impressions to view ratio. So if you're going through your home feed or your subscriber feed, you get it. That's an impression. You see the video in the feed, right? If you click that video, that is a very, very good performance booster because it meant, oh, you saw the video, you liked it so much, you wanted to click on it. Every time you see a video and you scroll past it, you're screwing the video over in the algorithm. It wasn't so much like that before. So now it's like, it's stupid because it promotes clickbait is what it does, which is a bad thing to do. And it's like, if there's a video that's an hour long or something like that, a long-term video, and you didn't have the time to watch it, you weren't in the position to watch it, so you scrolled past and said, I'll watch it tomorrow, you're actually screwing that video over in the algorithm because it's going to get recommended to less people. So those are the videos that are going to get you pushed in the algorithm. And so if you're not doing these algorithm videos, the videos that will actually push you in the algorithm, it's kind of hard to blame the algorithm. Like these videos where a story is 3-4 days late, those aren't going to push you inside of the algorithm. That's not going to push you forward. But a video of a breaking story is going to do that. And those are the videos that are going to gain you subscribers because those videos are being seen by new viewers. And so that is why, conclusively, I think we can conclude easily, that's the biggest reason. Okay, that's the biggest number one reason as to why. Now, these other smaller reasons, one of them, lack of research, less new information leading to staleness. One gripe I really have about Kyle is, and this is kind of his brand, it's the more basic stuff you're not really going to hear, although he has made some videos on like metaphysics and stuff like that, so I don't want to completely, say, he just doesn't do anything. But there's no real like academic research or that much that you see in there. You're not going to hear about, whether this is deontological or utilitarian ethics, or if there was like an amicus curiae briefing in this case, or, if there was a rational basis test applied, or, if this was, what the GDP, expenditure equation is, or blah, blah, blah. You're not really going to hear that much. I try to include that stuff in my newer videos, like you can see in that Joe Rogan video that I did. I talked about the GDP expenditure formula and showed you guys how aggregate demand is impacted by income. Income alters. It's one of the things that one of the non-price factors that can shift the entire aggregate demand curve. And when the aggregate demand curve goes down too far, goes back too much to the left, the economy recedes because people don't want to spend money. Deflation happens. There's less money in banks. Less money being loaned out in investments to businesses, employment goes down, the entire economy retracts. So you stimulate the economy with the stimulus, that income raise pushes the aggregate demand curve to the right, assuming that you have a good marginal propensity to consume. Marginal propensity to consume is a number between 0 and 1, and what it tells you is what is the how much of an extra dollar is someone going to spend. So if MPC is like 0.8, it means that they'll spend 80 cents of a dollar that you give them. If you have high MPC, it'll impact the aggregate demand curve more. If it's a low one, it won't really do anything. So I try to include that kind of stuff. I'm not really sure if you're going to get that kind of stuff from Secular Talk. And he kind of repeats the same stuff over and over again. And to me, it kind of feels like there's kind of a loss of really more research into stuff or just anything new. So I think the thing is, if you are already someone who's been watching Kyle for a long time, you probably get bored of what he's saying. And that's probably why you unsubscribe. And so there's a lot of people like that, I would say. But he's really good at being able to attract the masses because the stuff he says is very basic level. It doesn't come off as being like posh or douchey. I know people like the stuff even I said, like, oh, that I just said right now, but oh, you're just trying to sound smart repeating Econ 101. That's what people are going to say. People aren't going to like that. People don't like hearing about how the aggregate demand curve shifts because of a stimulus or what the marginal propensity to consume is. They don't want to hear that. They want to hear tax the rich. They want to hear, our infrastructure gets a grade of D minus, or we need Medicare for all because people are dying and stuff like that. That's what they want to hear. They don't want to hear about that kind of stuff where you can, talk more in depth about breaking it down. Unfortunately. So I'm going to try to mix the two of being entertaining while also including those kinds of things, but it's going to be quite the challenge. Another one was fence sitting TYT versus Jimmy Dore. That beef, both sides ended up turning on him, which isolated him. This backfired. This is another thing. Just like I told you guys about how the late videos on news was an indication of character for Kyle, this is a similar one. You can draw a character you can draw a conclusion about his character from this, because if you know Secular Talk, which a lot of you guys don't, from like 2014, I started watching him in like summer 2015, I think. Oh, was it 20? Yeah, I think it was summer 2015 is when I started watching him. But if you don't know, Kyle Kalinski's channel really blew up off of the new atheists versus progressives battle. There was a war going on between Noam Chomsky and people like that versus they were considered the progressives, and then Sam Harris and those kinds of guys were considered the new atheists. So there was a big battle between those guys about, what are the causes of terrorism and stuff like that. Is the U.S. responsible for terrorism, et cetera, et cetera? And he came in as kind of the guy who would be the mediator, and he attempted to mediate between the two sides. So that blew his channel up big time because both sides ended up respecting him, and so he was able to gain from both sides of the aisle and be able to grow his audience that way. And he was looked at as the guy who was really a he was the mediator. He was the guy who was looked at as both sides can like him. And this is what I mean by you can take it as a character thing. That's the goal of his channel. He wants to be the guy where people from all over the aisle can look at him and be like, that's the good guy. He's the good progressive. Or even though I don't like progressives, Kyle Kalinski Secular Talk, I still watch him because I respect him. That's his goal of his channel. Most of his time with this channel, that's benefited him significantly because he was able to get numbers from both sides. This is a situation. This is how life goes. You never keep going up, okay? In life, you're going to go up. Eventually, you have to go down. You can't just keep going up in life. Eventually, it's going to come down, and he's on a come down from that. Like, it's not always going to be beneficial for him to basically both sides of the situation. This is a situation where both sidesing fucked him, okay, because both sides hated him. So they lost like 10, 11,000 subscribers. Statistically speaking, even though 10, 11,000 subscribers isn't that much for a 970K, if your channel is stagnating and you're not growing anything, it's statistically very significant. If you're losing 1,000 to 2,000 or gaining 0 a month, 11,000 subscribers is statistically significant, right? It significantly deviates from the mean. So, that's a big loss. 11,000 is a big loss. So that hurt him. him becoming Joe Rogan's defense captain also, really hurts him with his reputation amongst progressives because they lose respect for him and ergo unsubscribe from his channel. Also, it's kind of a snowball effect too. Like if you start to lose the respect of some of your fans, not only is it going to impact the opinion of you from your other fans, it'll also impact the opinion of you from other people too. People are going to start hating on you and it turns into a hate wave. People go, that Kyle guy, man, he's just all about Joe Rogan, man. And then other people start thinking that too after they say it. And so it's like a snowball effect. And then other people who aren't even Secular Talk fans go like, oh yeah, but isn't that guy just a Joe Rogan follower? And that's what ends up having. It's just like a big hate train. And that's how these waves work. You just get waves of hate. Another one is doesn't interact with viewers, live streams, Twitch, etc. This is another thing that's really going to impact his like core fan base. His core fan base has a higher propensity to leave him if he's not going to interact with them by doing live streams, etc. And not really interacting on Twitch or, doing Q&As and all that kind of stuff. I don't even think he reads the comments, which is understandable. It's like, there's a lot of stress on these creators. I mean, they have, hundreds of thousands of views and thousands of people watching them. You know how much pressure that is, bro? Like, that's an incredible amount of pressure. I can't even imagine being in that position. I see, like, Hassan Piker streaming to, like, 50,000 people, and he's just streaming, like, 24/7. I'm like, damn, how does he handle... People are talking about, like, him buying a home, like, where he lives. Think about how much fucking pressure that is on your life and how much anxiety and stress that must give you. So I don't blame him for not interacting with viewers because, man, that stuff will kill you, man. So much anxiety, so much overthinking, so much worry and stress. So that's understandable, but it's going to hurt him. Like if he does live streams and really connect with his viewers, they'll have a higher propensity to stay with him and defend him. Those defenses will also ward off the hate wave. Like I said earlier, hate waves, it turns into a wave. So if there's hate starting to grow and it continues to grow, it'll start to infect other people. It's kind of like coronavirus, basically. Also, not expanding to new platforms, Twitch and stuff like that. He still does his live stream from Blog Talk Radio, I believe. So it's like, it's this dumb, really old school like website where you would do a live podcast format. It sounds like it's literally coming out of like a toaster from the 1800s. If they even I don't even know if they had toasters in the 1800s, but whatever toasters in the 1800s sounded like, that's what that sounds like. You can't even skip through the fucking file. So it's like you press play, you can't skip forward in the audio clip. You just have to let it fly. You just have to let it keep going. You can't skip forward. So it's archaic, it's dumb. That does definitely hurt him. Like having his live show played on YouTube or Twitch or anywhere else, bro. Having his podcast on iTunes and stuff like that. Even if just some people listen to, I'm telling you, bro, that's going to increase your followership from people who are maybe they don't watch YouTube videos. It's going to make it so people are bigger fans of you. That prevents hate waves by having people who are going to prevent the spread of the coronavirus like hate wave. So that's going to impact you as well. You'll lose less subscribers, etc. Now, that's not to say that he hasn't made changes. I mean, you can see he started posting polls on the community tab. He significantly improved his thumbnails. He also, what was the other thing I was going to say? He started putting a thing at the end of his videos. I don't know if he still does this or not. You guys can let me know. But at the end of his videos, he would put a promo to his channel as well as Crystal Kyle and Friends. So because of that, that's something I never would have thought Kyle would have done ever, putting a promo video like that, like, hey, subscribe to the channel. I never thought I would see Kyle from Secular Talk do that. So it's not like he's completely just like isolated. He has made changes, but it's not enough, man. It's not enough. No es basta. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's not enough. Anyways, so those are the things that are really making his channel recede, making him lose subscribers. And these are the different reasons. But the biggest thing, again, is that he is late to news videos, all right? He is late to news videos. That is the biggest thing that he is going through right now. And this is why he's going to lose it. And so, honestly, I forgot even to mention about that video that I talked about, the video that he did about the tragedy in Texas and the police. There's not even a video camera on there. So that's a big thorn in the side of the idea that it's like, oh, quality over everything. Now, maybe you could argue that the quality is better with the... Okay, I just debunked my own argument now that I'm thinking about it. Because, you could say that the quality of the video is better Without the video cam, then the video quality of the other videos when they're 3 days late, because the newness of the recency of the story adds to the quality of the video. A news video that covers a video within 3 hours is of higher quality than one that's 3 or 4 days later, especially when it's still running off of day one information. So, I guess that's kind of not, that argument doesn't make sense. But anyways, you can see that I'll just say, like, the quality of being quick to a news video, bro, it's literally news, dog. It's news. You're supposed to be quick to the video, but that is such an important piece for when it comes to quality of a video, and that's how you can see it. But anyways, that's why his channel is receding. Let me know your thoughts. Are you still a fan of Kyle? Do you still watch Kyle Kalinske? I know there's a lot of emigrants. Would that be the right word? Do you emigrate to a country, or do you emigrate away from a country? I think you emigrate away from a country, but I'm not sure. I don't remember. People who decided to leave the channel, let me know down below. I'm definitely curious to hear, what your thoughts on this situation are, and what exactly is going on with this channel. But hopefully this is a good breakdown that you enjoyed.